Okay, good afternoon, everyone. We are about to get started. Yeah, everyone can hear me? Okay. I guess I'm alone up here, so I could probably take this off for now. You might hear me better. So, good afternoon. My name is Janine Wilson, and I am the RISE Director. RISE is Retention Initiatives and Student Engagement. Today, we're here to celebrate our first generation students at Madison College in our 5th annual celebration. And I'd like to thank you all for joining us today. This is one of my favorite days of the year as we come together to share our first gen experiences and recognize the amazing first generation journey. We have a wonderful event planned, starting with the inspirational keynote speaker, followed by our Tri Alpha induction ceremony, and ending in food and fellowship with a supportive community. Madison College has the distinct honor of being nationally recognized as a first-gen forward institution. This means we're continuously fostering the growth of first-generation students and providing outstanding services, programming, and opportunity that allows them to rise above any challenges they may face. It means we give voice to the first-generation experience, and we recognize the importance of listening to that voice. It also means our executive leadership values and champions first-gen student success at Madison College. And I'd like to take a moment to thank them for their ongoing support. Some of them are here today, and some of them are joining live, so thank you. For those who don't know, there's an incredible team that progresses the first-generation student success initiative at Madison College every day, and that's the RISE team. So I want to thank you all for the support you give to our High Promise students. And a big shout out to the planning team for today's event. It's our first in-person event in a long time. So we're excited to be back physically in this space and just want to call them out. So Luz Arroyo, Emily Hallberg, Sarah Buney, and Jenna Flemmel, who are also advisors for the Tri Alpha Honor Society, Rashi Kamen and Aaron Daniels, who are advisors for the I'm First Club, Jeff Galligan, and Alex Gillis. Lastly, I'd like to recognize all the wonderful staff, faculty, administrators, and community members who support RISE and give of their time and talents to advance our mission in service to first-gen students. We couldn't do this work without you. So a round of applause for everyone that's helping out. And today we have the pleasure of hearing from Madison College TRIO alumni, Gabby Zumwalt, who will share her journey from first-gen student to first-gen professional and what she's learned along the way. When I think of first-gen students, I think strength, determination, resilience, and courage, and the very backbone of our learning community. And I see Gabby. Gabby, come on up.
Well, good evening, and good evening to such a distinguished group of students. I want to start by congratulating you for your involvement and participation in this vital organization. We all know how hard you work to get here, and I want to make sure that I honor that along with all the great things you're going to do. Before I get into what I have to say, let's get one more round of applause to all the students being inducted today and everyone who's a first generation student, please. All right, so when I got asked to give this speech today, I thought to myself, I don't have a cool, engaging story to tell. How am I supposed to inspire this talented group of students? So I thought the best way to send my message is by relating to my audience, all of you. I know that if I speak from my heart, you will understand and hopefully take something away. Since I started my academic and most recently my professional journey, I have had these feelings of self-doubt. Some of you might recognize this as the imposter syndrome. This term was introduced to me by a former TRIO student, and I want to continue the conversation to bring more awareness because I believe it is important. These feelings are perfectionistic tendencies, self doubt, and insecurities about one's talents and abilities. And I want to take this moment to bring these negative feelings we may have about ourselves out to the light of the day. Because I believe that if at least one of you have had these feelings of perceived fraudulence, I'm hoping my story will help you see how awesome you are and how important your story can be to the generations to follow. My name is Gabby, and I was born and raised in Bolivia. I left my home country to immigrate to the United States. Back then, I had no particular interest in academics, and certainly nothing to lose, so I left my home country. I arrived in Madison, Wisconsin. I was a naive 20-year-old girl who had just landed in a new country. A couple of weeks later, I started my first job cleaning UW dorms. That's how I first experienced a University Avenue crowded with students crossing the streets on their way to class. Every day I saw them, I kept thinking, wow, someday I want to be there. But I could only dream. I was too scared to allow myself to attend college. At the same time, I couldn't stop thinking about my mom and how much she wished I would advance my education. Back then, she was my cheerleader. In fact, she's watching right now through YouTube. Despite doubting myself, my mother still encouraged me to at least learn English. So my Madison College experience began. I started in the English as a second language program. And after a couple semesters, I thought I was ready for my first college level class, English 1. I supposed I could do it alone. What could go wrong? I thought. I was only new to the country with a medium to low English proficiency, and I had $800 in my bank account, enough to pay for the class. Whew, oh boy, what a nosedive. What I thought it was courage resulted in a big F for the class. The presence of that grade on my transcript stung more than a whole paycheck wasted to pay for the fill course. It was about that time that I first heard these words. Withdrawing from a class before a deadline, FAFSA, writing center, advising, GPA, and so many other new words for me. I had no clue what all that meant. No wonder why I failed that class. That's when I realized, oh boy, I'm a first generation student. Neither of my parents attended college, but not only that, they were also more than 4,000 miles away from me. I am not gonna lie, I was discouraged to learn that I was disadvantaged before even starting. But as I was fearful, I was also very stubborn. I promised myself to someday turn my F into an A. But first, I had to acknowledge and accept that I needed help from others to continue growing as a student and as a person. As Cesar Chavez once said, you're never strong enough that you don't need help. During my academic journey, I came across TRIO. I learned to lean in my program for support and never be embarrassed about my disadvantages. I humbled myself and I asked for support every time I needed it. Wise mentors, tutors from TRIO, scholarships, and sponsors that believe in me, and of course my hopeful mother from Bolivia helped me become that straight A student I didn't know I could be. 2 years later, I graduated with honors from the Human Services program, and I also completed a certificate in addiction studies. However, despite achieving my personal goals, some days the imposter syndrome thoughts still linger in my head. Even on graduation day, I thought, okay, that's it. I got my associates. That's the best I can do. But my TRIO and first generation family continue validating my strengths. First, by giving me the opportunity to talk in front of you today. And second, by encouraging me to apply to UW-Madison to pursue my bachelor's degree in psychology. In 1 more month, I would know if I got in. Sarah Buni and everyone who was part of my application process, thank you. Thank you for being an incredible listener and constantly helping me put things into perspective and prepare me for this huge step. Meanwhile, I'm making sure that my presence at Madison College reflects TRIO's values and standards for education through my full-time position as a student support specialist at the School of Academic Advancement. My work involves supporting students in the English as a second language program. In this position, I serve people of color, first-generation students, undocumented immigrants, to make their first step into college by learning English. I feel truly passionate, and I have a special connection to those students because not long ago, I was right there taking my first steps trying to learn English. It is truly an honor to be part of this institution, continuing the Madison College mission of serving our community through education. You know, at the beginning of my speech, I mentioned not knowing what to talk and feeling insecure about my own story. That's when I saw this year's focus was what's next. And I couldn't think of a better theme. Oftentimes, as first-generation students, we face academic, financial, social, perhaps psychological challenges. Still, we all are here thinking about tomorrow, about what's the next step towards getting through college and achieving our goals. It is truly remarkable and remarkable the courage and passion you all have. Dear inductees, first-generation students, and everyone present today, you all have the power to tell your story. Regardless of the difficulties you have faced or the outcomes, tell your story. You never know who may be listening. Younger siblings, your children, or perhaps an adult doubting their abilities to pursue higher education. You can guide them and maybe change somebody's life. Today, I want to remind you that you inspire us by your courage to be the first ones in your family to attend college, and your perseverance and resiliency to continue despite a global pandemic. You are reminders that obstacles can be overcome. Congratulations to everyone being inducted today on this big achievement of many to come. I want to welcome you to the Tri Alpha Honors Society family and offer my support to anybody that ever needs it. I'm here for that, to continue serving our community. Thank you so much for the opportunity again.
Thank you, Gabby, for joining us today and for sharing your story. It's a vulnerable space, and I appreciate that. We also want to thank all of you for joining us today to celebrate the induction of our new members into Alpha 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 Honor Society, or Tri Alpha for short, recognizing the academic achievement of first-generation students. Jenna Flemmel, Janine Wilson, and I are the advisors of this chapter, and Rashi Kamen is joining us as the advisor of the First Gen Club.
Okay, so welcome to the Tri Alpha induction ceremony. So I'm going to give you a little bit of history of the principles of Tri Alpha. The logo or key includes the number 2018, the year in which Tri Alpha was founded. The logo is a star in the center of several circles, indicating the various communities in which you are a part of. The community of Madison College, the community of Madison, Wisconsin, the community of the wider Midwest region, and the world community. The star represents you. As a star in your family, lighting the way for others to follow your lead into higher education, just as the stars above have guided mariners and travelers since days of old. Remember that you are this beacon of light to someone else, and it is your sacred responsibility to lead others into that light.
The pin which you will receive as part of your induction includes the logo as well as the words First Gen, so that everyone who sees you wearing this pin will recognize the importance of this journey for you. The cords which you will receive at graduation are blue and gray. You'll see it here. Using the colors of Moravian College, where the society was first founded. The colors are intertwined to demonstrate the connection we all have to each other.
Michelle Baumeister, a member of our Tri Alpha and recent Madison College graduate, has joined us today, and she will be leading our initiation pledge. But first, we'd like to ask all Tri Alpha members, including current members, those being inducted today, as well as any faculty and staff members that are here, if you could please stand, and then please join us up front.
Thank you for I will now read the initiation pledge. Being first can be hard. Being first can be scary. Being first can be exciting. As part of the first generation in your family to go to college, you are a source of pride and guidance to others. By accepting membership into the Tri Alpha Honor Society, you recognize your responsibility to your family and to future generations of first generation students. To finish what you started, to be their compass leading them to their destination when the way seems uncertain, to be their light in darkness, and to support others in their own journeys of first. By accepting membership in the Tri Alpha Honor Society, you accept the obligation of thanking those who paved the way before you and who made the journey possible for you. By accepting membership in the Tri Alpha Honor Society, you accept the responsibility of helping others as you've been helped, or as you perhaps wish you had been helped, to serve as mentors and guides for the next group of students to step foot on a college campus as a first in their family or circle of friends. By accepting membership in the Tri Alpha Honor Society, you have an obligation to take pride in your achievements and share your story, so that others learn of your accomplishments and can share in the joy of your successes. If you accept these responsibilities, please respond with me, I do. I do. Okay, thank you for coming up front with us, and congratulations on your achievement. I will now read the names of our new inductees. Not all of them are here today, but if you're here today, please join us on the stage to receive your pin. Kevin Mua, Lian Chen, Michelle McCarter, Kelly Call. Yay. Thank you for coming today. And Terica will give you your pin. Okay, then we've got Jaden Hayes, Leanna Holden, Holly Ennis, Ashley Bergholz-Dixon, Finn Markson, Alyssa Mua, Chamanpreet Pangli, Ayeli Dosavi, and Billy. Oh, is Ayeli? Is she here? Do you want to come on up? Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, Ayeli. Okay, and thank you, current members, for coming up here too. So for any of you who have not received your pin yet, if you would like to join us on the stage and just receive your pin, you can do that now.
also want to thank all of our faculty and staff that have been inducted. As an institution which is committed to serving first-generation college students, Madison College welcomes and values first-generation college graduates as faculty and staff as well. Like all first-generation students, these people blaze their own higher education trails as the first in their families to attend and graduate from college, and now serve as role models for you and other first-generation students. In recognizing their accomplishments, we celebrate their academic success and further demonstrate that mentoring and assisting current first-generation students is the best service a first-generation graduate can provide. At this time, we admit into Tri Alpha the following first-generation college graduates that are part of our faculty and staff with all of the rights and privileges of full membership in our organization. And our new members for this induction are Stephanie Beckman, Lexi Benyon, Jenna Flemmel, Caitlin Jung, Carolyn Schaefer, and Angela Fitzgerald Ward. So thank you.
All right, so let's give all of our inductees a final round of applause. And in closing, we'd like you to take a moment to look around you, around your full circle of support. You are the star in the middle of someone else's circle, just as you are in the circle surrounding someone else's star. You're all connected here in this honor society and in this first-gen community at Madison College. As Shakespeare once said, it is not in the stars to hold our destiny, but in ourselves. We thank you for joining Tri Alpha today and ask that you all go forth and live in the light.
Okay, so this ends our formal piece of today's event. And I would just like to say thank you again to all of you. We're so appreciative that you chose to join us to honor our inductees and to be a part of this celebration. And we are going to transition to lunch. But before we do that, I would like to remind you guys that this evening from 5 to 6, the I'm First Gen Club is hosting a mocktail event from 5 to 6. We'll have some food and refreshments, some mocktails, of course. And we're inviting all of you to come to kind of come and practice your networking